Hello, this is Professor Angelia with Works of Hearts, Living Your Own Life, Class Part 1. Some of y'all might have taken this through JCPS or for one of my other outlets. But, it's basically something aimed at people who might be codependent or a little shy or backwards even, and, they haven't really achieved what they've wanted to in their life. So that sounds like you. Listen up. We all want to live our best lives, right? We all want to be in control of our lives, right? Some of us would like to be more aware of the present moment. We all would like to attract what we want in life. We would all like to be happy. We would all like to have that perfect love. We would all like to be more present in our lives. Some of us would like to be able to teach others what we have learned out of our life lessons. And that's why I'm here right now. What do you want? Some people may not know the answer to this question. If that's the case with you, the best thing to do for yourself is to find out. Think back to when you were a child. What did you want to be when you grew up? Are you still interested in that now? Is it possible for you to do what's needed to get into that profession now? Think about what you were good at in school. Where did you earn your highest grades? Most people get joy from doing what they do well. So, the first step is to identify what you want out of life. Set goals for your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical lives. Then make an action plan listing the steps needed to attain that goal. Then go for that goal with all of your being. Do not listen to anyone who tells you that you can't do something. These people have given up already and would like to see you as miserable as they are by not fulfilling your own goals for your life. Happiness can be defined in many ways. A lot of people use their financial status as the barometer of happiness. But I have heard celebrities and lottery winners tell of how their success was the worst thing to happen to them. Happiness is more accurately defined by having satisfaction in your current situation. A lot of people don't have that. The best way to find it is by identifying what you want out of life and then getting it. To find out what you want in life, then get it, and be happy with your life, you have to be in control of your life. Some of us have had parents, family members, friends or spouses who took control of our lives. We may have been unfortunately unable to take control of our lives at some point. Or they may have just been the dominant type and wanted us to be submissive to their every wish for us, until we had to give in and live the life that they wanted for us, not the one that we want for ourselves. We may even have been in abusive or captive situations where we had no choice but to do what the other told us. But in order to live your life, you must live your life. If you do not do that, someone will do it for you. Be it someone you know or someone you don't, who makes arbitrary decisions on what your life will look like. Think of what kind of life you dreamed about as a child. Maybe you did like me and looked up at the clouds and dreamed of this fulfilling, successful, adventurous, happy life that you so looked forward to. You can have this life if you're willing to do the work that is necessary to get it. It's that simple. How we treat others tells them something about what we want out of life, how happy we are, how in control of our life we are, and how they are going to respond to us. Most of us know what karma is, if only from that Instant Karma song. The vibrations we send out into the universe are going to come back to us. Others are a part in the universal puzzle. And even though we can't always see that living beyond our own eyes, they are equally as important as we are. If we treat others with respect and compassion, then more than likely, they will start to do the same for us. If we treat others badly, then they will tend to do the same to us. It's like the golden rule that we learned if we went to Bible school, or in my day, it was still in our schools. Do unto others as you'd have done unto you. Unfortunately, in today's society, the motto seems to have turned to do unto others before they do unto you, which crumbles the very foundation of our societies as an anything goes mindset becomes the norm. And we stop trying to be civil and start trying to get ours at any cost. To be aware of ourselves is not a problem. We are born knowing what we need and later on what we want. But a harder question is, who am I? That one bugs a lot of people. The best way to answer that is to make a list of everything that you can think of that you like one lazy afternoon. Then make a list of everything that you can think of that you don't like. Then compare the two, and you will start to get a clearer picture of what kind of person you are. List all aspects of your being: spiritual, intellectual, sensory, physical, and anything that gives you joy. On the negative list, do the same, including anything that takes away your joy or just plain ticks you off. You will start to get a mental picture of who you are. Keep doing this until your picture is clear and you can't think of anything else to add. Then you will know who the inner you is. And you can work towards living the life that the inner you has been wanting since you were a child. Once you have an idea of who you are, a lot of people wonder why there is such a difference between who they are on the inside and who they have become on the outside. To reconcile this, you must take all of your own ecology into consideration. What type of family did you grow up in? Were they supportive of you or not? This will have led you to make choices. What kind of friends did you hang out with? Their peer pressure will have led you to make choices. Were you good at schoolwork or not? This will have led you to class and later work choices. Do you like making new friends and going places? Or do you like to stay home alone and escape? Excuse me. This will have shaped some of your choices in life. This will shape people's opinions of you and what type of person you are. We only know what we can see. Most people are not intuitive enough to see the person who is inside of you. You will be judged by the personality that you show to the world. Unfortunate sometimes, but true. If you are not showing the true you and have been using old personality schemas that no longer fit with who you are on the inside, then it's time for a change. Like a tree budding, then blossoming, or a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. You will be happier when the inner you and the outer you are the same person. So, how do you get what you want out of life? The only answer is to go for it. To do your best to attain whatever it is that you want. It may not be easy. It may not be what everyone else is doing. And it may not even be considered sane in some sets of people. But if you really want to have what you want out of life, then you have to go out and get it. It is the rarity that what we want will just drop into our laps. And it's unfortunate that sometimes when that does happen, it's at the wrong time for us to recognize it or for us to be ready for it. So, for the most part, we will have to work to get it. How do you even go about getting what you want? Well, the best way is to research someone else who has done it. In this day and age of computers, at your fingertips will be stories, resources, and connections on how to do what others have done to succeed. Unless you are the very first person to ever try to do something, then you should be able to find an example, maybe even a mentor, to help you out. Mine was Alanya Van Zant. She started me on this path, and I love her for it. I have heard people in dire circumstances who are so depressed ask me, how can I be happy? Well, the first step to happiness is acceptance. That may sound like giving up, but it's not the same. You have to accept your situation in order to change it. If you are in denial about what your situation is, then you'll have no desire to change it. You must sit down, take a long, hard look at your life and what about it makes you unhappy. If that makes you too unhappy to bear, then maybe you need some professional help with therapy or medication to level you off enough to be able to be stable enough to take a real look at what is making you unhappy in your life. Then you can take steps to make yourself happy. Only by knowing what you want, what would make you happy, being in control of yourself, treating others well, being aware of who you are and aren't, can you get what you want out of life and be happy. If you don't know the answer to the question, how can I be happy? Then maybe you need a counselor or life coach to help you identify where your life derailed and how to get it back on the track that you want it on, which I used to do. I teach a personal harmony program where we do just that. We mentioned love earlier. What is love? Love is a feeling that is undeniable, an attachment that we cannot deny in our core being. There are many different answers to that question as well. There have been posters, books and TV shows trying to identify aspects of love. Like, love means never having to say you're sorry. Love can mean many different things to different people. The important thing is what it means to you. Think long and hard and identify what love looks like to you. Think of any scenes from your life where you felt loved. Write them down, what the feeling felt like, and what generated that feeling. Then you will start to get a picture of what you need in order to feel loved. You can then make your own list of what you would want someone to do, say, feel, in order to show that they loved you. If you have a significant other, then you can share this list with them so they can know how to love you more deeply if they haven't been and are willing to. If you have been questioning a relationship, this practice may tell you what you need to know. In this case, you should also show your partner what it would look like to love you. Maybe they have been searching for ways and have been coming up with the wrong conclusions due to miscommunication or control struggles or their own baggage or your own baggage. You should always give a person 3 strikes, like in baseball, because at one point you felt that you loved this person. And love is a terrible thing to just quit on without giving it a chance to grow. If you do not have someone, then you could use this list, poem, or however you compile it. I had someone compile it as a poem one time. So that's why I said that. Excuse me. As a guide to pick out who would be a good match for you. Dating site databases do it all the time. Compatibility is a big deal because like interests will cement a relationship, and while there is no denying that opposites attract in the beginning, it's the thrill of the conquest that sparks that. It's mostly physical, and in time, the lack of similar interests will start to show, and the days will grow longer together until an affair with a similar person, or just a drifting apart and a decision to leave, shows up. And you'll wonder why you ever chose someone who is so different from yourself. A lot of us have been there and done that. So know what love looks like to you, and then live that love. Show it to others. Spiritual love. Compassion, which is the understanding mental love for others. Love from the heart, like there is no risk of you being hurt. Love with your body if you feel so compelled. Because the love that you send out will come back to you. Excuse me. It is important to remember that all things are transient. And the white-hot love of today may fade to an ember or even just smoke and ashes one day. But choosing not to love for fear of being hurt, well, that not only hurts you, but the other person involved. Love may not last. There is no guarantee. But if you take that chance, you may have a beautiful relationship with someone that you may not have had if you had kept your heart guarded because of past wounds. A casual, loving relationship where no one is in control of the other, no one tries to change the other in any way, no one abuses the other in any way, and no one tries to make the other one make sacrifices for the betterment of the one's life to the detriment of the others, that is what love looks like to me. The key to living a full life is to live in the here and now. The past is gone, and the future may never be. Here and now is where we should be living. So many people are obsessed with their past that they cannot enjoy their present. So many people are working and planning for their future that they may or may not have. They miss what's going on in the here and now. The best way to center yourself in the here and now is to use your senses. What is the temperature in relation to your body? Are you comfortable? What are you seeing, hearing, smelling, and feeling right now in this very moment? If we have the presence of mind to do this, then we can see the present. Practice this until you can center yourself in the present whenever you wish. When you can bring yourself into the present, then you can teach yourself to be present for other people. How many times has someone said something to you and you realize that you have no idea what they just said because you were reliving or daydreaming about something? I think we have all done it. Once you can still yourself and bring your mind to a calm and present place, then you can train yourself to be present for others. Make it a point to be there for whomever you're with. Listen attentively and respond. Train yourself to be like those old corny commercials that when someone else speaks, you listen. With practice, it can be done. And then with time, it will become automatic. Being responsive shows that you care enough about the person that you're with to be present for them. And it also helps you to find more depth and understanding in your relationships. Remember the old Nike commercial, "Just Do It"? That was very popular and a good way to look at life. We've established that life is what we make out of it. So, just do it. It's a good motto to adapt. I've heard so many excuses as to why someone can't do something, and most of them boil down to fear. So, I like what someone said in a book that was popular a while back. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's really the only way that you can step out of your box or comfort zone, is to step out. Take that leap of faith, and in spite of the fear, do it anyway. Decide what you want your life to look like, and respect that fears of stepping out are normal. Then do it anyway. The future is a dream. Many movies, books, songs, etc. have been written down about the future. Sometimes we even have deja vu and have dreams about the future. But the future is just that, a dream. No one can know exactly what will happen in the future. Even the best fortune tellers and psychics admit that one little action can change everything. So we never can tell exactly what the future will hold. That is why it is so important that we live in the present. It's all we really have. And by not dreaming constantly about the future, and by being still in the here and now, we can live a more full and rich life. which may even make your future better than planning for some day which never arrives. I'm not saying don't put away for the future or a rainy day. That's important to do, but I am saying to not live for the future. People who do that never arrive at the future and have spent their time and lives planning for a future that may never arrive, and they have lost their present. Listening is one of the most important things to learn how to do. A lot of people can't seem to manage it. You must train your brain that when someone else speaks, you automatically drop whatever other mental thing is going on in your mind and listen to them. By listening to them, you will be present for them and enriching your own life by bringing more depth into your relationships. Practice listening with a friend until you can exactly repeat what they said. When you listen to someone else, it makes it more likely that they will listen to you. Call it karma or just people treating others as they're treated, but it works. Meditation is a word that we hear a lot. What does it mean to meditate? The important thing that it means is to still your mind and think of nothing but the meditation. To push out all other cares, concerns, and problems until you can still your mind enough to just let it rest for a while. There are many different ways to meditate. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people writing books on, teaching, and leading meditations. The best way to meditate is the one that works for you. You may have to try several ways before you hit on the one that works for you. You'll feel more peaceful and calm when you find it. We also hear a lot about mindfulness. Basically, mindfulness means that we are aware of ourselves and what's going on around us, and that we make good choices and decisions for ourselves based on being aware of who we are and what's best for us. Meditation is a good way to start working on mindfulness. When we answer the questions involved in the bigger question, who am I and what do I want out of life? Then we start to act more mindfully. We can make choices that are more in line with who we are and what we want out of life. When we feel comfortable with who we are, then making a connection with our Creator will become easier and more meaningful in our lives. We will also be more able to make connections with other people. So many people go off half-cocked and say or do things that they regret later because they acted rashly and were not mindful of what they were putting out into the universe. They were just striking out in a fit of emotions. When you practice mindfulness, think before you act or speak. Would your speaking out in an emotional situation improve the situation in any way? Would it help you be the person who you want to be in any way? So many times we choose venting instead of mindfulness. In a truly vexing situation where someone has wronged you and you really just want to unleash the verbal hounds of hell upon them, think about it first. Did this person purposefully wrong you? If so, then you are well within your rights to say, "Excuse me, that was wrong of you, and I don't appreciate you treating me that way." If the person had no actual control over what happened, then by saying anything to them about it, reading issues. You may only hurt their feelings. If they had no mental control over a situation that went wrong, chances are they feel bad about it already, and may have even apologized to you already. And that was our bell. So that's all for today. I hope you found it educational and informational. Excuse my little lisping going on here. I lost another 1/4 inch or so chunk out of my jawbone. Yay, fun. That's number 15. So I'll leave the link in the description where you can help me to keep making classes online if you so choose. And that's all for now. Until next time.